What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Here's the Deal, Free Agency Edition. I'm your host, Michael White, with you as always with my friend David. What's good, my boy?
What's good, everybody, man? Free agency, man. You don't get any, no time to sleep. No time to sleep.
Zero time to sleep. Updates constantly. Like literally, as we were just preparing for the episode, Isaiah Thomas just ended up going to the Washington Wizards. So free agency is definitely alive and well. We're not gonna waste no time. Let's just jump straight into free agency right now. Where you want to start, Dave?
Hey, let's start in the Atlantic Division, man. Let's start off with the Celtics. Boston.
Celtics. Okay.
So with Boston, they picked up Kemba, they picked up Cantor. Those are their big moves right now. I'm thinking Kemba coming in replacing Kyrie. I think that's gonna be a good move, but it's not gonna come out to mean anything when it comes to playoff time. Unless Kemba can do something similar to what IT was doing those couple years and come in and average about 28, 29, something we haven't seen from him yet, I don't think it's going to mean much come playoff time.
Yeah, Kemba, I mean, look, you lose Kyrie Irving, you didn't get to move him early. If you wanted anybody to simulate something of what Kyrie brought, without all the extra drama and the on-court type stuff like that, Kemba Walker's your choice. I mean, he's going to give you about, 24 points a game. He's going to give you about 6 assists. He's not much of a defender, but look, he's a great locker room guy. You don't ever hear any bad stories about him. He's great for team chemistry, and I think that's something that the Celtics need right now. The only problem with Kyrie wasn't his playing style. It was just all the extra baggage that he brought along. So Kemba Walker is definitely a good pickup for them. They definitely saved some grace because it was looking for a while that they weren't going to get anybody, and we're just going to lose Kyrie and Horford for nothing. As far as Enes Kanter, it's better than nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's better than nothing. Kanter shows some grit in the playoffs. You know, he gets on the boards. You know, he can score a little bit. But the defensive end, we're going to have to see how that works out for them because Boston's known as a defensive team. So I don't know about that. I don't know about Kanter being my last line of defense right now.
Hey, having Brad Stevens, that'll help him because he's always good at, somewhat hiding bad defensive players. So it's going to be hard to hide Kanter out there, but I feel like he'll find a way to, kind of neutralize it to where his offense, it'll weigh out to be better. Kind of like what they did in Portland, where you can keep Kanter on the floor if he's out there giving you 15 and 10. Like he's very capable of doing that. Like he's a great offensive player. He's always in position on offensive rebounds. He may only be able to get 2 inches off the ground, but somehow he's always effective down there. So I think the Celtics, they made out okay. You can only do but so good when you lose Kyrie Irving and Al Horford, but I don't really know. I think they still have some moves up their sleeves. They still got some money. They're gonna need Gordon Hayward to come bounce back. Like I told you before, Jason Tatum got to play like Kobe Bryant. I need 35 points per game because they counting on him. And Jaylen Brown, him going into a contract year, that can make things a little tricky because they still do have these young players and they can't be on that stuff that they were on last year. Like they need to be about business, and they do have Kemba there. Kemba, he wants to be there, which is the difference between him and Kyrie. Kyrie didn't really want to be there, so maybe it's a different situation. Maybe they can figure it out, but so far their moves are okay. Nothing I think that's gonna make them better.
Yeah, if you're waiting on Jason Tatum to have his breakout Kobe year, you're gonna be waiting for a little while. Yeah. I was just saying, Kemba's going to give you 24. Jason Tatum needs to be in that, I think, a good, realistic 18 to 22 point range. I think he needs to fall somewhere in there consistently, obviously, shooting about, 40-something% from the field, above 45%. I need him shooting at least 37-38% from three. It's a big year for him. He had a big year in the playoffs 2 years ago. He made his name. Everybody was calling him the next Kobe and things like that. Kyrie came last year. Gordon Hayward came back, so the chemistry was messed up. So his production fell off. But now that excuse is gone. All those guys are gone. They're going to be looking for him to score more, especially with his talent. So we're going to see if he really is that player that a lot of people thinking probably went first in that draft.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Let's get into the big winners, though. Let's get into the Brooklyn Nets, man. They made out great. Like
Brooklyn Nets.
You get Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan. They got some other pieces. They got Garrett Temple. So they got some pieces, man. I'm not sure about the Garrett Temple signing. I think they could have did without that one, but they're already a good team. Kyrie Irving going there. I think we all kind of knew that was coming. Him being there, having a pick and roll with DeAndre Jordan and Garrett Allen, which, hey, that just sounds like somehow he's gonna get open. Like he's already has the best handles in the league, which he can get a shot off anytime. But having those two as a pick and roll partners, I think it makes him even more dangerous as a passer now. So having him, you play Spencer Dinwiddie alongside Kyrie Irving because Kyrie kind of plays like a shooting guard at times. So having him out there, I think that could fare well for them. Obviously, you gotta wait a year for KD, but I think this team's ceiling may be the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they could get there without Kevin Durant this year.
So it's definitely a good sign. Anytime you come up with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, you had a good offseason. So it's definitely what a slap in the face to the Knicks. Total sidebar, but what a slap. You think you getting Irving and Durant, and there he go across the bridge to Brooklyn. So I know that's killing them, but the Nets are going to be good. You know, no KD next year. We know he's out with the Achilles injury, so you just have Kyrie. You do have guys like Dinwiddie, like you said. You have LeVert. You have a young, talented center in Jarrett Allen. I really don't understand the signing of DeAndre Jordan because you have Jarrett Allen, but it looks like that was a part of the whole getting Kyrie and KD thing because they took a little less so that DeAndre Jordan, for some reason, could get paid. Hey. So, I mean,
you taking a pay cut for your boy to join the team?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I could take a little pay cut for my boy to join the team. But from a business perspective, if I was the person handling money, I'm like, we got Jarrett Allen.
We can do without.
Yeah, you got Jarrett Allen, who might be better at this point. Maybe not a better free throw shooter, but better athletically. He's a better blocker at this point. I mean, and he's cheaper right now. He's still in his rookie contract. So, hey, whatever. More power to you. You come up with KD, you come up with Kyrie, you're going to be good. As far as next year, what I expect from them, I expect them to be a playoff team like they were this year. I expect them to win maybe a series and lose in the second round to a better team, maybe the Bucks or the Sixers, somebody like that. I don't expect a lot from them next year. A lot depends on what we see from KD when he comes back. Mm-hmm. You know, at the end of the day, we just don't know. We're seeing guys like a Boogie Cousins come back from Achilles injury, who's a lot heavier than KD. But at the end of the day, we just don't know what KD we're going to get. Now, I still expect him to be, above 20-point scorer per game. He's still 7 foot who can shoot. But I don't know if we're going to get that dominant guy that could just take over the game at any moment. I just don't know. I have to wait and see. So
KD going to be fine, man. KD going to be fine. I think it's on Kyrie. It's on Kyrie.
And that too, the chemistry there. Is Kyrie gonna be dribbling like Julian Newman while KD's asking for the rock? Is like, how does that dynamic work? Like with LeBron and Kyrie, it worked. You know, LeBron's more of a point guard while Kyrie's more of a 2. In this case, you got two guys who think they're the best scorers on the planet. Mm-hmm. You know, so to me, that dynamic, I have to see that work. I mean, they're boys. So it could work easily because, you know, just because they fuck with each other like that. Yeah. But I still have to see that dynamic on the court.
Hey, what's getting understated is they did pick up Taurean Prince from the Atlanta Hawks. He's a pretty good wing player. I think he'll fit in. Yeah, he'll fit in smoothly with Kyrie this first year and maybe playing shooting guard or backing up KD when he comes back. So I think they have the right team. They still have more pieces to add. I think couple more shooters, 3-and-D type of players, and maybe another big man. But other than that, I think they're good to go. I really think they can make the Eastern Conference Finals. If they were to play the Bucks, I think they can get past that team. They can get past the Bucks
next year.
Yeah. And then, the Bucks losing Malcolm Brogdon, like that's gonna be huge for them. I think with the Nets, they're gaining all these pieces. Kyrie actually wants to be in this city. I don't see them this going left. Like I don't see them. Last year, I believe they were the 5 seed or something. So going from the 5 seed, I only think they're getting better. Like you replace D'Angelo Russell with Kyrie Irving, and then you bring in all these other pieces. they're only getting better in my eyes.
My thing is the way I saw the Bucks lock down the Celtics this year with Kyrie running the show. It's hard for me to say I could just put this team over the Bucks already after seeing what they did to Kyrie. I mean, they were a good defensive team, and I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Losing Malcolm Brogdon is big. He's a good defender, 50, 40, 90 guy, but you're still bringing back Middleton. You still have Giannis, who's going to be another year better after winning the MVP. He's definitely motivated. He's looking to win a championship. I don't know if I'm ready to put the Nets over them yet. Now, if KD's there, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
We're having a whole different story. But the Bucks bring back Lopez, who's very important to them. They bring in Robin Lopez, so now they have another defensive center to use. They bring back Middleton on the max, who can play defense, who can hit down shots. I don't know if I'm ready to put the Nets over them yet.
All right. We're going to see. I like the Nets. I like the Nets a lot. But let's get into the big losers, man. The New York clown-ass Knicks. Like, let's get into them.
Man.
James Dolan. Like, what was he thinking? What was he thinking? Like, why would you do that to the top 3 player in the league at worst? Like, at worst, he's a top 3 player in the league. Why would you disrespect him like that?
There's no way he didn't offer him the max. There's no way. There's no way, James Dolan, that Kevin Durant walked in your office.
I really believe
didn't offer him the max.
He probably walked in. He's like, all right, Katie, I see you got your boot on. I'm not sure if we can give you that 4 years, $140 million you're looking for. Like, I could definitely see James Dolan doing that. And KD just roll right back out the office. Don't even say nothing after that disrespect. Like,
well, so I've been seeing on Twitter that what it really they were really concerned about this Achilles injury. That's what it is, and they didn't think they had faith in getting anybody else. So you bring KD, he's still gone for a year. You're still gonna be. It's tough, but man, it's KD. Get that man the money. What?
And he'll bring other players with him. Like, I'm not sure if Kyrie goes to the Nets, even though he seemed pretty locked in on them. But I'm not sure if he goes to the Nets if you actually at least make the offer to get KD on the team. Like, once you get him on the team, you figure out everything else.
Yeah, but even if you're not getting Kyrie, Jimmy could have considered if KD would have went. Kawhi, you could have enticed them. That was one of their plans at the time. So getting KD will make free agents go there, even if they have to wait a year. So I don't know. I think it was a risk worth taking.
Well, hey, they ended up spending that money, and they gave some money to Kyle O'Quinn, Taj Gibson, Julius Randle, Elfrid Payton, Wayne Ellington, Reggie Bullock. So out of those players, I mean, all of them are on one-and-one deal. So they are doing smart things in the franchise. Randall's the only one on a 3-year deal and has a team option at third year. So everybody else, they can get out of the money next year. Maybe they'll get back into free agency. That's kind of what I'm looking at it as. They lost this offseason. It was not everybody was going to get a duo this year. Not everybody was going to get a star player this year. So they're kind of one of the odd men out in this situation. So Julius Randle's a nice pickup, though. I do like that. I do like that move.
Yeah, Julius Randle's 20-10, guaranteed. I mean, look, say what you want about Julius Randle. He used to play for my Lakers, and I have my feelings about him. But he's 20-10, guaranteed. Every night in the paint, going left, bruising.
Going left.
He's becoming a better 3-point shooter. He was definitely a better 3-point shooter last year. So, I know Knicks fans are upset. They're totally upset. But I think looking at this haul they've brought in during the free agency, you add an Elfrid Payton, who's a good all-around point guard, can play defense, can create. Taj Gibson, I don't really understand that move if you're picking up Randall. But, hey, you add another big, you add another vet. You add another vet in that locker room. Bobby Mayweather Portis.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Just in case y'all forgot, Bobby Portis, the dude who broke Meredith's jaw in Chicago. They signed him. He's another young forward. Reggie Bullock's a shooter.
Sent his ass back to overseas after that.
Sent his ass straight back overseas, man. That's messed up. But I think these are all solid picks for the Knicks. Then you have a young core. You have Kevin Knox. You have a Mitchell Robinson, Dennis Smith Jr., Alonzo Trier. So, I mean, I still think the Knicks are definitely better today than they were yesterday with these signings.
Yeah, let's get into these 76ers, man, because
Sixers.
they made a surprise move. I did not see them getting Al Horford, and somehow they made out and got Josh Richardson. So, how you feeling about this starting five they got? You pull out Bud Simmons, you got Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford at the four, I assume, and MB. You think that's the best starting lineup in the league right now?
Well, let's just wait till free agency is over. Another team might have a little something to compete with that. What I will say
In the East,
in the East,
they coming out.
it's easily top three. I don't know if I'm going to say they're coming out the East yet. We got to see what Kawhi Leonard does.
Yeah,
We got to see what they do. But defensively, I think this team is going to be one of the top three defensive teams in the league, if not the best. You got Joel Embiid protecting the rim, one of the best defenders in the league. Now you add a versatile defender in Al Horford, who can defend on the wing, and he can defend inside, and he can knock down a perimeter shot. He gets pushed back to his original position at the four. So, hey, we might see some more scoring nights from him. He'll be able to spread that floor a little bit for Philly because they're going to need that. Tobias Harris is 20 points a night. They bring him back. I like that move, especially since losing Jimmy Butler. Josh Richardson, I think we're actually gonna see him play some. Even though he did play for the Heat, we're gonna see him play some meaningful games, get a little bit more spotlight. I think he's a solid player. He can knock down a 3-point shot. He can play defense on the perimeter. I think he's a lot better than people expect. But with all that being said, what's Ben Simmons gonna do? That is still the question.
That's the question. Yeah, that is the question. Like he got to come back with a jump shot. Like if he doesn't come back with a jump shot, he's really the only way this team does not work out, and they at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not win the East. Like if he can hit from 10 to 15 feet, it's a GG for everybody in the East right now. Maybe the Raptors can compete if Giannis comes with a jump shot and takes another step. Maybe Milwaukee can do something, but other than that, I don't. You have Embiid, and the one thing that they do lack, I will say, they do lack a closer. So unless Embiid can be that type of guy, that is the one place that they do lack because Simmons not closing the game. Josh Richardson, maybe if he get hot, I guess. If Tobias gets hot, I guess. But
Tobias gonna take the shots.
Oh no.
He's taking the shots.
At 5 years, 180, he might need to.
I'm saying he taking the shot. Like he plays like I think we said this before. We're not comparing the talent, but he plays like Melo. Like, I expect him to take the shot. Like he's pulling up no matter what. When he touched the right, he pulling up.
If that's their closer, that could be the one weak link. So I'll say that. So that's the thing. The NBA, you can have all the talent in the world. Somehow you only get 48 minutes, only one ball. So it's going to be a tight game in some of these situations. So having that closer is what wins you these playoff games. You saw it with the Raptors, whether it be Fred VanVleet or Kawhi Leonard. They had that closer that they can go to and, hey, give me a bucket. And that's why they won the championship. So the 76ers, I'm not sure where they're going to find in that. Maybe if Embiid comes in better shape, can last the whole entire game in that last 5 minutes, he's not, overly drained or anything like that. Yeah, I can see that. But this starting five, I think is best in the league right now. Best in the league, for sure.
So do you see them? What do you think they're gonna do next year? Because who's on their bench?
Zaire Smith and I don't know who they got on their bench. Let me put up their roster.
That was my problem with them last year. Very, very talented, but who's coming off that bench and providing points on a consistent basis for them? I don't know. Zaire Smith still did he play? He played?
Nah, he was hurt the whole year.
Yeah, he was hurt the whole year. He still hasn't played an NBA game yet, so I wouldn't bank on that right away.
So they got Mike Scott, you got James Ennis the third. Those and Greg Monroe. Those are kind of people right now. So they definitely need some help on that bench. They need some better guard, some shooters, first of all.
Losing Redick is big.
Yeah, losing Redick is big. So if Josh Richardson, maybe he can surprise some people being that fourth or fifth option on the team. So if he can do something and surprise people, hit some off dribble shots and just be ready to catch and shoot, because Ben Simmons is going to attract a double team, Embiid as well. And if he can play off of them pretty good, then maybe it could all work out. But shooting is definitely the weakest part of their team right now, I think.
It says here, we said Kyle O'Quinn, right?
Yeah, they got Kyle O'Quinn.
The center. Norfolk State.
Hey, the Raptors though. So let's get into the Raptors. They haven't really made any moves. They've brought back Marc Gasol. They've brought back everybody. It seems like they're just waiting on Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard. If they don't get Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, it was a nice championship y'all got, but welcome back to the bottom of the East. They probably wouldn't be top 4 teams, I don't think so. Hey, I don't know what to tell the Raptors fans on this one.
I mean, look. So basically, the Raptors are in waiting mode right now until Kawhi Leonard makes the decision. We're not going to see a lot of moves from them. But if they lose Kawhi, I can still see this team making the playoffs. I think Siakam has shown that at times he can carry this team. I think they've got enough chemistry. They're pretty much bringing the same team back without a superstar. I mean, we were just having this argument about the Clippers and how what they did without a superstar. So Toronto has more chemistry than the Clippers. You get another year Fred VanVleet better. Kyle Lowry's been there forever. You get Ibaka back. Gasol's already opted back in. You don't think this team can make a run at the bottom of the East?
I still have them making the playoffs. I think they make that 7 or 8 seed in the East. The East still isn't too deep, so I think they definitely getting it somewhere around there. They get OG back, so they'll be a good team. It's just actually competing. I don't have them doing that. Nick Nurse, he proved to be a good coach, but as far as our debate with the Clippers, he ain't Doc Rivers, so I think that's where they wouldn't be as competitive as a team like that. So they will make the playoffs. So no argument in that.
But I was going to say they're a team that went 17 and 5 without Kawhi. I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah. Let's get into the Central Division though. So Chicago Bulls, have they made any moves yet? I haven't really heard too much come out of Chicago. They were rumored to get Darren Collison, but
he retired.
Yeah, he retired out of the blue. He apparently he did it for faith and family reasons, so can't really be mad at him. He either it's going something with his family, or he can't question the man's face. So.
They got Thaddeus Young on a 3-year deal, $41 million. That's a good pickup. Solid power forward.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good move.
And they got Tomas Satoransky from Washington, the point guard, on a 3-year deal, $30 million.
Okay,
he's a solid point guard.
Yeah, I mean, add in Thaddeus Young. He's, I know people see that stat saying now and then he's somehow like only 5 players to ever do this, and he's with all Hall of Famers. Something like Thaddeus Young. For some reason, he's a pretty solid NBA player. But being on the Bulls, I think he'll bring them some veteran leadership. He'll probably come off the bench, I assume, but nothing too much with the Bulls. I think them adding Kobe White was a very good move. He seems perfect for that type of franchise.
Add Kobe White. That's a good young point guard. You asked Thomas Satoransky, who's a veteran point guard at this point. Bring in Thaddeus Young, who can provide some defense. He scored. I mean, he was one of the reasons why the Pacers were still able to stay afloat last year when Oladipo went down, between him, Bogdanovich, and Miles Turner. So I think it's a good signing for them. It's going to be interesting what kind of step the Bulls take next year. What are we going to see from Zach LaVine? Where does he go to next? I think he had a pretty good year last year coming back from that. It was an ACL tear, right?
Yeah, he came back from ACL. I think it's on Lowry, though. That's the guy I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
If Lowry, because he has to be their best player right now. He at least has to.
I still think LaVine's their best player right now. I think Market has the most potential, though.
Give me Lowry. Give me the 7 foot. He might be better than Porzingis. Like, he might be. Give him this year. He might be better than Porzingis. Obviously, Porzingis coming off the injury, but the Porzingis we saw in New York, I feel like Lowry definitely has that type of potential, if not better.
He's definitely built in that same type of mold. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of work he does. See if he can get. I don't know. Porzingis got some moves now with the Rock. Right. Like you don't just get called the unicorn for no reason.
He was different. He different, but Lowry's that guy to me. But the Cavs, they added Darius Garland. They ended up spending $5 million and like 4 second-round picks in order to get Kevin Porter Jr., which I think is a good move. And hey, if you spending $5 million, I don't really care about that. Like, hey, just get the player at the end of the day. But 4 second-round picks, that's a little alarming. But you come out with those 2 players. I think Cleveland has a pretty nice young core. They also got another young player. Is slipping my mind right now, but he's a forward. He's a solid player, I think.
Didn't they get Jarrett Culver?
No. They didn't get Jared. He went to the Timberwolves. Timberwolves
Okay,
got you.
got you.
Yeah, they ended up getting Darius Garland. So they had Darius Garland and Colin Sexton. That's kind of they said that they're trying to kind of build their team kind of like how Portland did. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work having those two undersized guards, but I can't really be mad at the moves right now. Hopefully both of them work out. If not, you go with the one that works out, you get rid of the other. So at this point, if you're the Cavs, you take best available players and just hope they pan out. That's where the Cavs are. And they haven't really done much in free agency, so they're just a young team. I think we'll keep an eye on.
Yeah, the Darius Garland pick was I was a little confused by it, because they just got Colin Sexton last year, but obviously we're seeing something trending in the league where we just saw it in the finals where teams are running a lot of dual point guard sets with a kind of like a combo 2 guard off guard, but who can still create for people. So Garland and Sexton, that'll be something interesting. Garland would be the shooter of the two, obviously, and Sexton's the attacker. He's more aggressive going towards the rim. So I think it's a nice little young core they're building there. I think they need to move off the Kevin Love contract. Honestly, I think they should be looking to move him and bring in some more younger pieces. If you're going to go with the rebuild, go with the rebuild. 4 years, 180 to Kevin Love, I don't think was necessary. I mean, you thanked him for his work. He helped get you a ring, but I think go with the youth movement. You got Garland, you got Sexton. Get Thompson out of there. Get some of these contracts off the books.
Hey, put some respect on Colin Sexton's name. Hey, he can shoot.
Yeah, but he's not a shooter like Garland, though.
He shot. Last season, 3.6 attempts, 40%. I can work with that. He made 1.5 threes a game. I can work with that at the guard position.
If Garland is what they say they are, though, I don't see them being on the same level as shooting.
He's probably the better shooter. I will say that. But put some respect, 40% from 3 rookie year. So, I mean, he's trending in the right direction. That's all.
Yeah, that is better than I thought. I didn't know he was at 40%.
Yes. Hey, second year, he was hooping a little bit. But the Pistons, man, hey, they got our boy D Rose. He went to the Pistons.
Right, they did get Pistons.
They're rumored to get JaVale McGee right now. That's kind of still up in the air, but it doesn't really make sense that they're adding these players, being that they are the Pistons. But maybe Dwayne Casey can surprise us and make these pieces work together. I'm not sure. Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond. I think they need to get rid of Andre Drummond probably for the betterment of the team, but because he be on some nut shit sometimes. So they gotta get rid of him and just build around Blake and whatever other young pieces, Luke Kennard or something like that. But I don't really know how to feel about the Pistons. I think Derrick Rose, he about to snatch all those minutes from Reggie Jackson though. Reggie he's working on being out the league in the next few years where he be playing.
Yeah, look, the Pistons were a playoff team last year, so obviously they have something to build off of. Adding Derrick Rose, you add a scorer, you add a dynamic point. You think he's going to take his starting spot? Is Derrick Rose going to play the whole season? You think so?
Yeah, hey, Derrick Rose is back, man. Derrick Rose is back. He may not be as explosive, but he's back.
Yeah, but when I look at their team, they got Thon Maker, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond. Oh, they got, what's his name? Sekoy. I might be messing up his name. Forgive me in advance. Sekoy Doumbouya from France, 6'9". Hey, he was a lottery pick. So
I need to see that. I need to see the name.
Yeah, it's Sekoudum. Sekoy Doumbouya. Yeah, he was a lottery pick. He's only 18 though, so can we expect a lot from him? Probably not. Mm-hmm. But I like the pickup of D Rose. D Rose gets 2 years, $15 million. It adds another scorer to that team. They need that. They don't have a lot of guys who could just go get their own bucket. Yeah, but he ain't what we thought he was gonna be.
He's a fraud.
He never lived up to his Ball Is Life highlight mixtape. He never lived up to it. So I like the moves. It's small moves, but in the East, you never know what can happen to them at the bottom. You never know what injuries can happen in the playoffs. So we'll see what they do from here on out.
The Pacers made a huge move. They are looking like they may be serious. They got Malcolm Brogdon. They ended up getting him from the Bucks. So that kind of caught everybody off guard. But pairing him with Oladipo, I think that gives you a top 3 defensive backcourt off rip. In my opinion, Oladipo is very slept on. Adding Malcolm Brogdon, somebody that can kind of play on and off the ball. he's a Swiss Army knife at the point guard position. He can do whatever you need him to do offensively, and he'll play really, really good defense. So that was a great move to me. They did end up losing a good amount of players. Obviously, Tyreek Evans, Wesley Matthews, also Bogdanovic. So they've lost a lot of players, but bringing in Malcolm Brogdon, I think that kind of actually fills them up greatly. They also added Jeremy Lamb, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you add him maybe in the starting lineup, running kind of a small lineup, but with Miles Turner and Sabonis, they have a good starting lineup. I think they'll be kind of exactly where they were last year, but you actually have Oladipo, and you maybe go further in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to trot out something like Brogdon, Oladipo, probably Lamb, Sabonis, and Turner. They'll be competitive. If Oladipo comes back, no slip-ups, he's right back where he was. I think it'll take him a little bit of time, but if he comes back, this team was the 4th seed in the playoffs?
Yeah, the 5 seed.
The 5 seed. They were at the 3 seed for a long time, so this team can play defense. This team knows how to play together. They do lose some pieces. Bogdanovic was a great shooter. They're going to be counting on Lamb and Brogdon a lot to knock down open shots. But Brogdon, like we were saying earlier, he's a 50-40-90 guy. He's knocking down open shots. Yeah. He plays defense. So the East is looking competitive, man. Like every time I look at a squad, they looking better.
Yeah, shout out Nate McMillan because he's going to make that team competitive. They definitely going to be right back where they were last year, but they're actually going to have the guy. The guy is going to be there, and they'll have Malcolm, and he may be able to be that third option on that team with Miles Turner if he can continue to make those strides that he's doing. So they're gonna be good. But the other team in this division, the Bucks, they end up losing Malcolm, so that's interdivision, losing Malcolm Brogdon, but they bring back George Hill. Also, they brought back Brook Lopez, and they brought his brother along, too. So they got Robin and Brook over there. And you bring in Middleton as well. So you bring back everybody but Brogdon. Hopefully Giannis takes another step. I think that's kind of where I'm chalking it up to. If he's not able to shoot jump shots still, like consistently get a mid-range game, because he can make threes. It's just the mid-range game. He still hasn't found that yet. Doesn't have really much moves. He's just trying to dunk all the time. So he has to get some moves. He has to get a mid-range game, and maybe this team will be back at the 1 seed, but they're definitely going to drop off if you ask me. They lose Brogdon. That's a huge loss to me.
I still expect them to be one of the top teams in the East. When you have Giannis, a guy who affects both sides of the court the way he does, you're going to be a very good team. You bring back Middleton, like you said, on a max deal. He's one of their best scorers on their team. And with Brogdon gone, he's going to have to be even more consistent. Even though last year, being a first-time All-Star, he had a good year. You bring Brook Lopez back. I think that's a great move. Stretch 5 right there, knocks down 3-pointers. Then you bring in his brother, who's the defensive Lopez. So now you got a nice little tandem going on there. I think the Bucks are still going to be a very good team. I do agree they're going to miss Malcolm Brogdon a lot. You're just going to miss that type of consistency every night. You knew what you were getting. But man, Giannis, Middleton, Lopez,
they messed up. The Bucks messed up, man. I think they're looking at losing Giannis because they messed up by giving Eric Bledsoe that contract mid-season. Because if he could have got that money, he could have gave it to Brogdon. I think that's a lot better. We've seen what Bledsoe does in the playoffs. He's not like, I hate to chalk it up to the playoffs. He doesn't show up because there is 82 game season, so that's definitely important. But for some reason, it's just he does not play anything close to the way he plays in the regular season. So I think they really did mess up in that aspect of free agency. Granted, that was mid-season, but the team elected to do that for Bledsoe instead of saving that money and going up and keeping Brogdon on the team. So I think that is somewhere that they messed up and how it could affect them in the future with Giannis.
Yeah, and if you're unsure about Eric Bledsoe's contract, he signed a 4-year, $70 million contract extension with the Bucks.
Let me get at the Brogdon.
So he's pretty much signed through 2023, so he's going to be stuck there. So they're going to be counting on him. Mm-hmm. They're going to see what he's going to do to get better. You know, the playoffs expose a lot, and a guy like Eric Bledsoe, obviously, he needs to be a more consistent knockdown shooter and more of a threat offensively this year. Now, look, it's not just him. The playoffs expose Giannis too. Yeah. So I don't know. I just have a feeling though that this team, winning 60 games, going down the way they did 4 games in a row. I just sense like almost like a hunger from them. It's mainly from Giannis. Like what I seen
yeah,
from
yeah.
yeah, what I seen from his MVP acceptance speech. Like I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're going to be a very competitive team, top 4 team in the East easily next year.
Giannis isn't a player you count out.
Yeah, definitely not.
I feel you on that.
Definitely not.
Let's get into our Southeast division, last division in the East. So the Atlanta Hawks. If y'all haven't heard, I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan now. They're gonna be
Switched
running
it up.
this league. Hey, I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan. I'm riding with the Atlanta Hawks. We got Trae Young, we got Cam Reddish. Who else we got? We got John Collins. We got what's the boy from Virginia, DeAndre Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter.
Like we tough. The Hawks are tough. So
Kevin Huerter.
I'm rocking with the Hawks. That's my squad right now. So I'm feeling what they're doing out there. You added Allen Crabbe, added a couple other vets as well. But the young core that they got, I don't like how they traded for Evan Turner, but maybe he can help Trae Young play off the ball a little bit more. So I love this team. They're more so draft dependent instead of free agents right now, but it all makes sense. Maybe get some free agents in the future. Atlanta is the type of market that I believe NBA players would want to play in the future, especially if you have Trae Young and other exciting players out there. I think Cam Reddish is going to be the truth out there. You're not asking him to be a first or second option yet, so maybe he gets to ease into the game. You got Herter out here, he proved to be a very good rookie last year. Hopefully he takes another step, and this team is going to be nice. Trae Young, he'll continue to be better. Put on 5-10 pounds of muscle, come back, and let's see what you can do. That's my thoughts on this team, man. I'm a Hawks fan. Just know that. Refer to me as a Hawks fan from now on.
Well, look, the Hawks are definitely going to be an exciting team to watch next year. They're going to put up a lot of points. They averaged about 113 last year. That's good for about top 10 in the league. In fact, that's right around what the Rockets average. Isn't that funny? But but I just Trae Young is a walking bucket. I had my questions about him before the draft, mostly due to his size and seeing how he would do. Now, he's not much of a defender still, like I thought he would be, but shit, his offense is still working. His offense is definitely still working on the NBA level. So I like their team. I like Cam Reddish. I like taking a chance on him. Yeah, he had a bad year at Duke, and I thought he should stay. But if he pans out, then look, you got a solid, another three-point shooter, another scorer you can go to. Kevin Huerter, he's a nice shooter for them. Jonathan Collins, the big man who likes to play above the rim. DeAndre Hunter, 3-and-D. They got a nice little solid young core there. I don't think they're a playoff team yet because I just got to look at the landscape of the East of how the free agency goes. But I could see them poking around that bottom to 9 to 10 range, and maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the season goes and what else people do. But I think they're in that 9 to 11 range right now.
Oh, I got the Hawks making the playoffs next year.
You think they're in the playoffs? You think they got
they're
enough?
in the playoffs? Hey, I got Celtics, Nets, 76ers, Hawks. How many is that?
The Celtics, Nets, 76ers, Hawks, 4.
Bucks, Pacers, Raptors. That's it, right? I got one more.
Hold on. You said Bucks, Raptors, Sixers, Celtics, Pacers, Nets. Who else did you say? You said Hawks. That's 7.
Hawks. All right, throw in Miami. Miami will make it with Jimmy Butler.
Miami, 8.
Hey, that's who's making it out the East. That's who's coming out the East.
So who are you taking out? Orlando? You taking out Orlando and Detroit, I would assume?
Yeah. Pistons not making it and Orlando not making it. And throw in the Hawks. The Hawks going to make it in Miami. So those will be the 2 new teams.
Now that I'm looking at it, it's very possible. That's very possible. The only thing you have to be worried about is Orlando is a team with chemistry coming back together. They bring back Terrence Ross, and we'll get into that, I'm sure. Or did we already say the Magic?
No, I mean, you go ahead. Hey, they bring back just about everybody for the most part.
Yeah, they're bringing back Terrence Ross. They bring back their all-stars. So that's a tough one. Am I going to imagine them falling out of the playoffs? I don't know. The Pistons have Blake Griffin, more proven than a lot of these guys on the Hawks. So I think they have
Trae Young is better than Blake Griffin.
Right now? Right now?
As far as leading the team, give me Trae Young. I like Blake, but he's not it. he always hurt come playoff time.
That's true.
I never see him play in the playoffs, and he's a great talent. But give me Trae Young to run a team and to get me somewhere. Give me Trae Young.
That's true. I guess it just depends what you look. If I had to pick a team from scratch going forward, Trae Young all day. If I had a team that just needs one more piece for a contender, just depends on what I need, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Blake Griffin do a lot on the court now. Don't sleep.
He do, but hey, to give me the elite shooting, Trae Young's passing ability is what don't get talked about enough. His passing is some of the best in the league. I believe he's like top 5 in assists already. So
yeah, it's A1.
And he started figuring out how to kind of shoot with this whole NBA. How far he got to pull up, because he is smaller, so it did take him time to develop. But that second half of the season, that was something special. So next year, I expect him to be even better. I don't think there's going to be any slump in his game at all.
Yeah, he was 4th in assists last year at 8.1, so he could definitely dish that thing.
Watch. He'll be better than Blake Griffin next year. Watch. Hold me to that one.
All right.
But Scary Terry, Hornets. What's Mike doing? What's he thinking?
Mike just out here casually playing 2K. Just in his off time, I guess I go check on my squad, see how we doing. Oh, we about to lose. Oh, if we don't move Kimba, we get nothing. Let me see what I can throw together real quick. Oh, let me get Terry Rozier. And now you got Terry Rozier and Frank Kaminsky, Miles Bridges.
Hey, hopefully Malik Monk. That's really who they depend on. Malik Monk is hopefully they saving grace. Like either him and Scary Terry, they gotta work it out. They gotta become a lead backcourt. But
Cody Zeller.
The Hornets they're about to be terrible this year. I don't see them. They're gonna be bottom 5 teams in the league to me for sure.
The Hornets might be jockeying for the number 1 pick next year. Yeah. I can see that.
I mean, hey, with the new lottery though, so they may not get that first pick. But
who they draft? Oh, they draft PJ Washington. I like him, but he's not going to be a game changer at all for them.
Yeah, I don't know what the Hornets are doing. They're just trying to sell tickets at this point. Like, I don't really understand any of the moves they ever make. And then you let Kemba Walker walk. So, like, that makes no sense. Like,
yeah, let's go ahead and skip them. We're good. We're good.
Let's get into Miami.
Miami. Let's talk about Miami, man.
They made some moves. They ended up, the whole Jimmy Butler trade, it ended up taking a while, but ended up being a 14 trade. But you have Jimmy Butler, you got Goran Dragic. I think that could be a pretty good duo. Justice Winslow and Jimmy Butler, that's going to be great together.
Defensively, he's amazing.
Defensively, they moved Justice Winslow to point guard a little bit, and his numbers started spiking up after that. So maybe they found something with that. And I just believe in Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley in this. So, and I love Jimmy Butler as a player. I think they're building towards some type of free agency in the next year or two. Jimmy Butler, I believe he'll be turning 30 pretty soon. So maybe in the next 3 years, if they can be competitive, he'll be happy living in Miami. It somewhat makes sense. He didn't go for the money. He didn't go for the most competitive team, which would probably be in the Rockets or the Lakers or any of those type of teams. But Miami's a good fit for him. They're just the type of team that Jimmy Butler fits on.
Yeah, this is the perfect example of just a guy just doing what he wants to do at the end of the day. Because I could have sworn he was in this for trying to win. It was all about trying to win. And I got so much respect for the Miami Heat organization, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra. But they're not winning no championship no time soon. He had a lot of options. A lot of teams were vying for him. Like you said, the Rockets were trying to get him. The Lakers were looking at him. The Knicks were trying to combine him with Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. I guess at the end of the day, sometimes when it comes down to these players, it's just where they want to live, man. He wanted to be in Miami.
Right.
D Wade was like one of his favorite players, I believe. I think that was his favorite player. So
yeah, that's his boy.
Yeah, I can't be mad at it. I think they'll be a playoff team, a bottom team in the East, and I think they're good to scare one of those top teams in the first round, and then that'll be about it. I just unless they make some more moves, I just don't know how much I can expect from the Heat. Nothing on their team really scares me.
They're definitely going to be competitive. Eric Spoelstra keeps that team competitive. So I definitely see them. They'll make the playoffs and take somebody to about 6 games, but that'll be it. But I watched Jimmy Butler's vlog today, and it's just breaking down how his mindset throughout free agency. And he was more so just talking to everybody else around him. So I guess he based his decision more so around the people that he's helping him train, some of his family and things like that. Where do they want to live? What do they think is best? Should he go for the money? Should he do this? So that's kind of what I got from watching. At least I think it's just part one. He'll probably drop part two pretty soon. But it's more so about fit, place to live, and money as well. So he's gonna get his money regardless, but more so place to live and what does he want to do as he tells in the rest of his career. So Miami's a good fit. Who wouldn't love living in Miami? So
yeah, I can't knock Miami going to Miami at all. Trust me. Look, if you want to go to Miami and live, I can't be mad at you. At the end of the day, if that's where you want to live and you thought about family and things like that, and it landed on Miami and they're willing to give you the max, take that money, dog. Do your thing.
Let's get into the other Florida team now. So Orlando Magic, they bring everybody back, which they brought back Terrence Ross, Vucevic, which kind of surprised me a little bit. But I thought Terrence Ross would leave. But I knew Vucevic probably would end up staying in Orlando. It just seems like he's the type of guy that stays with the team, and they're starting to, they finally made the playoffs in the first time in a long time. So as they continue to develop, he kind of wants to be a part of that. You got Jonathan Isaac, a whole lot of young guys. I would like to see Aaron Gordon traded sometime, whether it be in this off season or during the season, just because I don't think he's the best fit for that team. I hope Markelle Fultz can make a huge leap coming forward. You got Mo Bamba there. If you can have Markelle Fultz be one of the better guards in the Eastern Conference, then this team could be working with something. But hey, if them running it back, I'm not mad at that.
Shout out my boy Marlon. Let's talk about your bum ass Magic. I mean, they all right. They made. I mean, Terrence Ross ain't going nowhere. Shit, they gave him 4 years, $54 million.
Yeah,
I don't think he was getting that nowhere else. So shoot, he better come on back, and you get to live in Florida. So, Hey, the Magic, like I said earlier, they're bringing back everybody. Another year of chemistry. They pretty much surprised everybody by making the playoffs last year. Granted, they won't be sneaking up on anybody. I think they were the best team record-wise after the All-Star break last year. So they've got a lot to build off of coming off last year. Granted, they ran into the Raptors, and we knew what that was when that series started. But, I mean, look, you bring back – I don't know. I like Aaron Gordon. I think he fits there. I think he's a nice second – is he what, they're like second option right now pretty much to Vu? So, I mean – it could work, but I don't think you're going to win anything there in Orlando. I don't think ultimately you're not going to assemble the amount of talent you need. I like Jonathan Isaac, like you said. I like Bamba. Mm-hmm. I like Evan Fournier, good shooter.
They got the young players.
They definitely got the young players on their team. But Fultz, I just don't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at. And, let's not forget the Magic went and signed the GOAT. Michael Carter Williams for a 1 year deal. Let's give it up.
Michael Carter Williams. He's been on like 6-7 different teams. How you win a rookie of the year and just nothing? You can't stay with a team.
I don't know, man. The
league got flipped from under his feet.
It just don't work for everybody, man. He ain't hitting his shot consistent enough, dog. He was just a flash in the pan. But yeah, so I expect Orlando to be making another run at the bottom of that East. But overall, they're same team, new year.
All right, so let's close out the East with this last team. Like you just reported, they ended up bringing back IT. They not bringing back, but they did sign IT, and I think that's a good move. John Wall being out, they brought back Thomas Bryant, which it doesn't really mean much to me. I think they're trying to build around Bradley Beal, but I don't think that's going to work. I feel like he's going to somehow end up in Miami. Hear a lot of talks about him trying to be paired with Jimmy Butler. And that's why I was talking about the whole free agency thing. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. So whether they trade him to Miami or he end up going to Miami, I think that's a good destination for Bradley Beal. As far as the Wizards, I would have definitely tried to bring back Bobby Portis. Let Jabari walk, because he's only good for 40 games, 10 points, and not playing defense. You had to let him walk. I don't know. There were reports about them being interested in bringing him back. I'm glad they didn't do that. IT will give you more than him. So it's really just going to be the IT and Bradley Beal show to me. That's all I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, the Wizards, they bring Thomas Bryant back. Shout out Thomas Bryant, former Laker. Got paid. I ain't expect him to get paid, but he got paid. So hey, he's doing something right. He's an energy guy. You know, he
Yeah.
gets blocks. He can knock down an open 3-point shot. He's a decent center, so that's nice for him. As far as looking at the rest of their roster, you have Bradley Beal coming off a career high in points, 25 points a game. So he's probably looking to build off that. You add Isaiah Thomas. It's all about health with him. We're going to see how healthy it is, how meaningful he can be to an offense. If he can come back out there and be the spark plug that he once was, then they'll be good. But again, we're still talking about a miniature guard there. So defensively, you have things to worry about with that, especially with them losing Satoransky. So, I mean, the Wizards did what they could. I didn't really like the Rui Hachimura pick in the draft. It was just,
That's true.
it was just a pick.
They-
He's a solid player, but I mean, I don't expect much from them. Is Dwight Howard coming back? Maybe. We'll see. The Wizards just have a lot of questions to be answered.
A lack of direction. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was supposed to say. Like they don't. I don't think they still don't have a GM, so they're just a lack of direction right now.
Yeah.
And that's being, I guess, you call it the team that Virginia claims. So I don't know how I feel about Washington right now. They need to get it together so I can cover some teams pretty soon.
Yeah, man, something. If y'all need me to lace up,
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Look, we can do that. Whatever.
man, let's start with these Golden State Warriors. So
the West, dog.
the dynasty ended for a good 22 seconds, but sure enough, somehow they work out a sign and trade and get D'Angelo Russell. So they get D'Angelo Russell. They lose Iguodala. They traded him with a whole bunch of picks. They traded him with like 3 protected picks to Memphis. So that surprised me that they traded that many picks, and they sent the pick over to, I think, was it not in the it's something in the Brooklyn trade because it's a 3-team trade, but they lost a lot of picks in this whole free agency process. They did get D'Angelo. They did sign Shabazz Napier, which would be a solid pickup for them, especially if they don't get Quinn Cook back. Also lost Jordan Bell, but as far as the Warriors, I'm not sure how I feel about D'Angelo Russell being on this team. I think he'll succeed just because they're such a smart organization, and Steve Kerr, he's a great coach, and D'Angelo does have talent, so they're gonna succeed. But how he fits into the makeup of this team, I don't like it. He was 3rd highest in usage last year, only second to Russell Westbrook and James Harden. So it's somewhat of a disappointing season to me from last year. He gets a lot of hype. Everybody loves D'Angelo Russell just because he's been able to bounce back from so much, but he's not a true all-star, especially in the Western Conference. He's not cracking that all-star team. He's not getting any votes. I'm sorry. Like, nobody's voting him into the all-star game in the West. He barely made it in the East, only due to Victor Oladipo getting injured, unfortunately. So he's barely an all-star, and that's something that people bring up so much. He's a 23-year-old all-star. He's doing all these great things, but fitting in on this Warriors team, I don't like it so much. Yeah, he'll be good while Clay's out, but I just don't think it's. Yeah, I guess you made out good with getting rid of KD. I guess that's good. I guess.
Well, I mean, I think they'll figure it out. Clay's going to be out. So the problem that Golden State ran into when they started losing everybody in the finals is they didn't have another ball handler. They didn't have another guy they could give the ball to and make things happen. That's when you don't have another ball handler, teams like the Raptors can run boxing one on you and it'd be effective in the NBA. I mean, Draymond Green's a good playmaker, but he's not really a ball handler. So I think D'Lo gives them that option. I think his best attribute is his passing, and I think that'll be something they look forward to help and create for others. With Clay out, KD gone, you're gonna need guys to be able to create open passes
I don't see it, man.
You're gonna need guys. I mean, he averaged 7 assists last year, so he could definitely create. He's a hell of a passer, even from his LA days. He's always been a hell of a passer. Be able to create for others. He can run the pick and roll well, and he shot 36% from 3 last year, so he's gonna get a lot of open shots. Just because Steph Curry's on the court, that's what his presence does. It opens up shots for everybody on the team. I think he's still going to be an effective scorer for them.
I disagree because the way he can set up people, but the way he sets up people is more in a pick and roll type of offense. And I mean, the Warriors do run pick and rolls, but they're more so off ball movement. And I don't see D'Angelo Russell staying at the top of the key. Obviously, hey, he's going to get a couple assists off of, Steph just being great, but Other than that, who's he passing to? Who's playing defense on his team other than Draymond Green?
But see,
Somebody tell me that.
We weren't talking defense. We was talking the offensive side of the ball.
It's not
What I said was offensively, they'll be fine. He's gonna get buckets. He can score. He can create his own shot. Now defensively, I agree. I don't know who they're stopping defensively with Steph Curry and D'Lo at the top. That everybody's gonna have a field day. It's gonna be
so you lose Iguodala, you lose KD, a 7-footer. He's a pretty good defender, no matter how you feel about him, and you lose Klay Thompson for at least 3/4 of the season. So this defense, Draymond Green has to be all, like what he say, best defender all time. If you're gonna put that to the test, like he's gonna have to anchor this whole entire defense this year.
Oh, I think Draymond Green is gonna have to be. Hey, look, he's gonna have to be all NBA good. He's gonna need a year. Like I think offensively they'll be able to carry the ship just because Steph Curry's that good. I think we're gonna see another year where he's gonna average 30, and you might have D'Angelo Russell right behind him with like 23, 22 in that range. But Draymond Green, I need a solid, like I said, 18. 8 and 8, something like that, yo. Like
you gotta lock up,
and you gotta lock up because you don't have a lot. I think they're gonna try to add some wings to this team before the free agency is over. Yeah, but defense is definitely the biggest concern. But offense, I don't think it's gonna be a big concern. I think Steve Kerr is gonna put these guys in the right position. They bring Kevon Looney back, so that's important defensively for them. Even though it's not like a crazy signing for them. That's a good signing.
That's important. Yeah.
They might bring back Cousins. We just don't know how they're gonna finish filling out the rest of that roster. Also, what I've been hearing, D'Angelo might just also be trade bait. So we'll see how that pans out. But I think they're gonna use him.
I think he's gone. Actually, I think they will end up trading him. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense to me. And the Warriors can do some things with him, but that's not their type of guy. Especially they're still in win now mode. So. Russell, he'll be good. Like I said, he'll be good no matter where. But as far as a perfect fit and finding a piece that's gonna make the Warriors back into championship contenders, it's not D'Angelo Russell. It's not that. Because even before they made that move, when I thought it was just gonna be KD leaving, I had the Warriors maybe not making the playoffs in the West. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Like I know people like to believe in Steph, but he's not carrying that team without Klay most of the year and another year aged Iguodala and another year aged Draymond. Like I thought they weren't gonna make the playoffs, but if they keep D'Angelo, if they trade him, they'll probably get somebody good. They will end up making the playoffs. But before that, I was very skeptical.
You don't think they're gonna make the? Hold on, I gotta look at the standings. Hold on, I mean, I understand why you would say that. Trust me, but it's just hard. Could you imagine being in the finals and not making the playoffs last year, and you're the Warriors?
They had such a huge flip. You lose Boogie. You have another year of Draymond. Draymond played terrible during the regular season. He played great during the playoffs, but regular season, the way he was shooting, oh no, that's not going to work when you lose KD and Klay's out the whole year. Like Steph would have been their only shooter out there. Iguodala is another year aged. Before all of this, they getting D'Angelo Russell, they weren't going to make the playoffs, man. You would have had Steph Curry out there with God knows who, like Sean Livingston. It just sounds like terrible space. Like they would have had Kevon Looney. No.
Yeah, it's. I'm looking at the stats from last year right now. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a big question where a lot of their production is gonna come from. I see Steph Curry averaged 27, but Durant was at 26. Klay was at 21. DeMarcus was right there at 16. So D'Lo will probably fill in Klay's production as far as offense, but that 26 points from KD. Draymond only averaged 7 points a game last year. So
you talking about 18?
He's gonna have to be the most improved player and defensive player of the year next year at this rate.
I don't know how. Steve Kerr always finds a way to figure it out, but that was with other great players. Not having Klay there, if they had Klay there, it'd be all good. But not having him defensively and just for spacing in general, like just helping other players out, getting those easy slits for other players like Kevon Looney and things like that. So I'm not high on the Warriors right now. That's all I'm saying. But they did make out good getting D'Angelo. I will say that. It's something. It's something that they could compensate for losing the best player in the league before injury, probably. So
better than nothing.
Yeah. Look, hey, better than nothing. Let's talk about the Clippers, man. Are they gonna get nothing? It's looking like it. They brought back Pat Bev, but other than that, they're still waiting on Kawhi.
Hey man, when you playing with the high rollers, this is what you gotta do sometimes. You gotta sacrifice. They brought back Pat Bev, they made sure it was a deal where they still be able to afford Kawhi, and now they just playing the waiting game. So it's really not much to say, man. We're just waiting for the Clippers.
I know you're gonna say your Lakers getting Kawhi, but let Steve Ballmer, Jerry West, and Doc Rivers get in the room with Kawhi. He's gonna love it there. Like, he knows they're more stable than that other LA franchise.
How are they more stable? When's the last time they won a championship?
It's not about no. That's not the question.
Currently, what are they known for?
Currently today.
Number 2.
That's what right now they're known for, being a gritty team. They got one of the best coaches in the league. Everybody loves to play for Doc Rivers. Like, if I was a player, he'd be high on my list of coaches to play for. So you get him, Pat Bev out there. Those are the type of people Kawhi would probably love to play around. You got Lou Williams as your second option. He's a closer. Like, you don't have to worry about that. Everybody knows their pecking order. It's structure. It's just structure. It's kind of, the whole San Antonio thing fell apart, but it's kind of similar to that. Obviously, they don't have the great history, but as of right now, they're similar in that type of situation.
Yeah, dog. I ain't believing none of that hype, man.
All right, let's head over to your Lakers.
Let's just combine it. We're just gonna combine the Lakers and the Clippers together because they both in the same position. Both teams waiting to see what Kawhi's gonna do. I think it's clear as day where you go. You go to the Lakers. Look, seems like the Sixers. Hey man, they stacking up. Kawhi just saw in the playoffs in the East. You forgot about the second round when his teammates weren't doing nothing. When he was limping through the series, literally Siakam scared to shoot the ball. He's been through that. Yeah, they won, but he also knows, hey, just like you said, that Warriors team didn't have Kevin Durant. That Warriors team didn't have Klay Thompson. Iggy was hurt. Looney got his clavicle fractured. It was rough. I don't think Kawhi wants to go. He took load management and still was hurt in the playoffs because he had to carry the Raptors before they got to the finals and the Eastern Conference Finals and decided to start showing up. I think you come to the Lakers, you have LeBron, you have AD. Y'all, it don't matter where you land in the playoffs. It don't matter. You are title favorites off rip. They could grab me, you, my daughters, and we could lace them up.
That's not what Kawhi trying to do, man. That's not what he wants to do. The Warriors just
no
got
one
the
knows what he wants to do.
They just got the mid version of James Harden for Kevin Durant. Like, we good. I can go win a chip with the Clippers. It's not like they fully stacked anymore. And the Lakers.
How can you say you don't know? That's not what Kawhi wants to do. No one knows what Kawhi wants to do. No one knows.
My sources are telling me that he's leaning towards going to the Clippers or going to the Raptors right now.
So here, look, let's put this. So you in a pitch meeting. You got Lou Williams. You got Pat Bev. You got Montrezl Harrell. Some dogs. Some dogs for sure. You got Doc Rivers, Steve Ballmer. That's cool, bruh. LeBron James.
Don't tell me about your retired players. You talking about current players.
I started with LeBron James. That's your first argument.
He might as well be retired.
That's your first argument.
He might as well be retired.
Then you got Anthony Davis as your third option, 28 and 12.
That's not exactly 28 and 12. Not happen as a third option.
But I'm saying, if your third option is known to put up numbers like that, I mean, who are you gonna lose to?
I can see them losing in the Western Conference Finals. If they got Kawhi, I can see them losing in the Western Conference Finals.
Who?
All right, they could lose to the Rockets. They could lose.
Get the fuck out of here.
They could lose to the Rockets. They could lose to the Nuggets. They could lose to the Portland Trailblazers and the Utah Jazz. Those are possible teams they could lose to.
So you mean to tell me, okay, we're going to take it team by team. So let's start with the Rockets. James Harden, Chris Paul versus LeBron, Kawhi, and AD. LeBron, Kawhi, and AD takes that.
It's just not about the stars. No.
In the playoffs, that's what it's about.
It's actually about the role players in the playoffs.
No, it was about the role players this year because the stars got hurt. That's the only reason why it was about the role players.
I mean, I hate to say it, but y'all all little management team, so I don't know who's gonna be healthy come playoff time for y'all.
Now look, now you change it. Now you don't know who's gonna be healthy. Before it was you just picking them over Kawhi, LeBron, AD.
I would. Give me the Rockets. Give me James Harden. Give me Chris Paul. Who else we got? We got Clint Capella, Eric Gordon.
We were just talking about how Chris Paul is the worst contract in the NBA, and you telling me you taking him right now in this battle? Stop it!
James Harden.
No way.
Anthony Davis ain't proved shit. Anthony Davis ain't proved nothing.
Yeah, Kawhi and LeBron have. That's it. Hey, look.
LeBron hasn't proved anything without a great supporting cast.
Kawhi and Anthony Davis.
That's 2 players. It's 5-on-5. And he's about to play the bench. You at least got to go 7 deep. At least.
If you have 3 of the top, 8 players, where I don't know where you rank Anthony Davis, but I assume he's in at least your top 8. If you have 3 of the top 8 players in the game on one team, 2 of them arguably top 3, come on, dog. It don't matter. Look, they gonna sign Rondo, Danny Green.
See, this is what you telling me. They gonna sign Rondo. If they sign Danny Green, Iguodala, okay, y'all might be doing something. But if y'all don't get those role players, it's a lot of hype around this team, and I mean rightfully so. But I can see y'all losing to one of these teams.
Now, look, role players are important. I agree with you with that, but this could easily. Have we ever seen? So let's say this happened. Have we ever seen a collection of talent better than them 3 right there? I don't think you can say that.
A collection of talent, meaning like a whole team of talent,
no, a collection of stars, a big 3 better than them. Okay. I don't think you can pick that. I don't think so. I don't think you can think of one better.
I mean, there's no other better big 3. I'll definitely say that. But as far as a starting 5 and just going talent for talent and putting it together, I'd say you have other great teams. You got the 85 Celtics and things like that. There are other teams that may have had more talent. It's just you have it in 3 players, and that's kind of in basketball. That's what you want. You want it all your talent in your top 4 or 5 players. You want all the talent into them. So it makes sense somewhat, but also shooting for that team. Who's gonna shoot? They picked up Troy Daniels, which I think is a great pickup. He's hit a game winning in the playoffs. He's had some success in his league, and he's a knockdown shooter. But I don't know. And you know the pressure of playing with LeBron. You know it. All these role players y'all getting, I don't know if they built for it.
Look, I put it to you like this, man. If you got LeBron running the point, pretty much, if we get Kawhi, that's 9 times out of 10 what he's gonna do. This is the magic. Yeah, this is the Magic Johnson stays in. And you got Kawhi Leonard and Anthony Davis. First off, teams are going to struggle to score against you just off Kawhi and AD alone. Teams are going to have fits trying to score against you.
They're not always going to be on the court together.
I understand that. But
one of them cannot anchor the defense.
Anthony Davis anchors a lot of defense.
Not when he's going to have Sasa Vujacic out there. He gonna have Derek Fisher coming out of retirement. Why do you expect that there at least 2 are gonna be on the court, fam? Like what? Like I actually don't think that.
As much head coaching experience we got on this team, you think they're gonna let a weak bench get in the way of LeBron, Kawhi, and AD? You think they're gonna let that happen? Look at the Warriors. What?
First year team, LeBron James. Do they usually have a lot of great success? They may get to the finals, but do they end up hoisting the trophy?
That's farther than where you said we was just gonna go. You said we was gonna lose.
That's in the East, but that's been in the East. This is the West, and what team does he always end up losing to? A West team. Okay, so
who's it gonna be? Because you just named 4 teams that there's no way in hell. When you stack them up in the playoffs, you're telling me you're choosing the Nuggets with Jamal Murray and Jokic over a team that features LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard.
Hey, don't forget about Paul Millsap.
Next team. Go to the next team, man, right now. Go to the next team.
You got Michael Porter Jr. Like he's about to win Rookie of the Year.
You just said We talk about LeBron, Kawhi, Anthony Davis, and you brought up Paul Millsap. Go to the next team, David.
Oh my god! All right. So the Phoenix Suns, the Phoenix Suns, Ricky Rubio, man. All right. So what do you think about them getting Ricky Rubio?
Ah, let's move to the Suns. All right. Ricky Rubio. I mean, the Suns been looking for a point guard for a couple years now. They've tried to get Lonzo Ball. They tried to. They was rumored to be trying to trade for Chris Paul at one point. They've needed a point guard so Devin Booker can stop pretty much taking that responsibility and just settle into his two guard role. So you get a guy like Ricky Rubio, as long as he's healthy, which has been the problem for him over the last couple of years, which is what part of the reason why he's not in Utah anymore. As long as he's healthy, you have a guy who can play make and who could defend, who's going to get the ball to an open guy. So, I mean, it's a small move, but it's a good move for them. What did you think?
Small move, good move, but I need them to make a bigger move. I thought they were going to be in the D'Angelo Russell or Kemba Walker sweet states, but obviously nobody wants to go play for the Phoenix Suns. So Rubio went and got that bag. The Suns, I don't know what they're doing. They're kind of in no man's land. Hopefully their young players pan out. They need to bring back Kelly Oubre. If they don't do that, then fire who's ever running the front office. But nothing much for the Suns on me.
Yeah, let's move on.
The Kings brought back Harrison Barnes. They decided to give him a long-term contract, which that kind of surprised me. They got Dwayne Dedmon and Trevor Ariza, so they're bringing some vets. They're bringing some shooting. They're just trying to make the playoffs at this point, and I think they could possibly make it. So hopefully Marvin Bagley, he's going to get a lot more minutes. Willie Cauley-Stein seems like he really wants to lead his team, so he'll be gone. Bagley really wants to play at the 5 kind of position, so I think this team has a lot of potential. I think they will be fighting for a playoff position. I'm not sure if they'll get in, but they'll definitely be fighting for that AC.
Yeah, they added some veterans. Then they signed Trevor Ariza, bring Harrison Barnes back. I don't like the contract, but more proud of Harrison Barnes. 4 years, $85 million. Harrison Barnes been collecting the check ever since he left Golden State. Like he has not fallen off. They also signed Dwayne Dedmon, the center who was in Atlanta last year, to a 3-year, $40 million deal. They also signed Corey Joseph to a 3-year, $37 million deal. So the Kings, they also signed Rashawn Holmes to a 2-year, $10 million. So the Kings are clearly making moves, trying to shore up that roster. They got a new coach in Luke Walton. So, I mean, they're going to be an interesting team. They were, the 9th seed last year? They were like a game or a couple games out of the playoffs. So they're definitely going to be one of those teams fighting at the bottom. I like these veterans added to a young core. You got Fox, who could have been the most improved player of the year. Obviously, you have Marvin Bagley. So they're going to be an exciting young team to watch. And now you add some vets to that mix with a coach in Luke Walton, who's great with young guys. I think they could make a little run towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Dallas Mavericks. What you think about their moves? They brought in Seth Curry, brought in some shooting to help Doncic and Porzingis space out the floor. Hopefully he comes back 100%. But what's their outlook for next year? You got it seems like they want to go with the foreign team. They continue to get these European type of players. That's something that Mark Cuban tends to love. And hey, they're highly skilled players, so I don't blame them. But Doncic and Porzingis, what do you think they're gonna do?
See, it's going to be tough. Like we were saying, it depends on what Porzingis we get back. But they have a nice little squad. So you got Porzingis and Doncic. So those are obviously your stars right there. Don't they still have Tim Hardaway Jr.? They got him in that. Yeah, they got him in that Knicks trade. So you got a shooter there. Jalen Brunson, I like him. I like Courtney Lee. So they got some pieces there. Look, man, the West is deep. They're going to be one of those teams at the bottom of the West as well, trying to find their way and claw their way into the playoffs. And some very good teams are going to get left off. I think the Mavericks, unfortunately, have a chance to be one of those teams. But adding Seth Curry to that bunch, Luka Doncic, he can create, he can score himself. If Porzingis can return to his fringe superstar status, like he was, look, man, when he was healthy, Porzingis is nasty, man. Like I was saying, you don't just get the name unicorn for no reason. Dude can pull up, work in the mid range. Yeah, he's tough. So I think they're going to be fighting for a bottom seed in the West as well. A lot depends on kind of what we see from Doncic and Porzingis' health, what he does coming back.
continuity.
Yeah.
A collection of great talent. The best team coming out the West next year, the Houston Rockets.
Oh my God. Okay.
They bring back Gerald Green.
Run it back.
They bring
2019.
back Daniel House, and they just signed Austin Rivers back. And they bring back their starting five. This is what you're not understanding. It's not about all the star players. It's about how you play together. And everybody knowing their role on the team. Kawhi Leonard's not going to know his role on this team. LeBron, he don't know how to be nothing but the number one player on his team. And now he's trying to work around the best player in the game and somebody that's trying to be on the come up who just made the 2K cover. So that packing order, it's going to be some button heads. Yeah, you got two quiet guys and you got LeBron, but hey, they're not going to get along. But the Rockets, they know what's up. They know who is taking them where. They know exactly who to give the ball to and who needs to stand over there in that corner. So, hey, the Rockets, they running it back. I don't know what else to say. Daryl Morey, he always says your team's not finished until March 1st. That's the last time you can add a player to help you in the playoffs. So we will be making some moves throughout the regular season and just wait on.
Yeah, not a lot to say about the Rockets now. They're bringing back everybody pretty much. I guess you could say continuity. I guess you could say that, even though there's rumors that Chris Paul and James Harden was butting heads about the way the offense was
trying to rip the team apart.
But at the same time, the West is wide open, unless, obviously, unless some huge power shift happens. So this would be the Rockets' time to get their shit together and, try to win. You lost last year. Okay, that year's over. It's time to go into a new year with the same team. I mean, I'm being real though. We still crying over the loss. Or are you ready to move forward? The Warriors aren't the same no more. They're not the same right now. It's a different team. The West is more wide open. You're healthy. Chris Paul gets off season. He went out healthy. Let's see if he can come back and provide something. If not, I mean, what? But here, let me ask you this, because you Rockets all the way.
No, Atlanta.
Yeah, but you Rockets. Do you trust D'Antoni to get it done in the playoffs? It's still lingering over his head.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about D'Antoni. It's like the system works, but at the same time, he doesn't demand the defense. So that's where I'm at. And you can't neglect the mid-range shot. So those are my two gripes with D'Antoni. He needs to be more confrontational. Like, don't just let James Harden do whatever he wants out there. That's why I thought Jimmy Butler would have been a great addition. He's not going to deal with all that bullshit that James Harden be on and sometimes Chris Paul be on. He would get them boys right. So D'Antoni, he just has to be a more assertive coach. He's too laid back for my liking. Too laid back. We just go out there, do what he does. We just play our game. Like, no, not enough adjustment. So I don't like D'Antoni right now as far as when it comes to playoffs and things like that. But hey, we're gonna win a lot of regular season games, and hey, like I said, we got the starting lineup coming back. Maybe that'll change things compared to everybody else with these moving pieces. So that's my only hope right now.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
So the Grizzlies, they added a lot of young pieces. Team wanted to come up. John Morant, I think he's gonna be great over there. Jaren Jackson, bring back Valanciunas. I'm not the hugest big fan of him, but I mean, there are worse moves that they could have made. Obviously, you probably bring him back. You don't let him walk at all. So the Memphis Grizzlies, just a team I think keep an eye on in the future. They'll be competitive this year though. They'll definitely be in that 33 games. They'll win somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah, they're a young team. Get John Morant. Obviously, you can't mess that pick up. Bring Valanciunas back. Good, solid big man. I liked him when he was in Toronto. He played pretty well for the Grizzlies when he came over in that trade for Marc Gasol. So, like you said, they're a young team. We don't expect them to make the playoffs. 30 to 33 wins is probably their ceiling. Shit, it might be lower than that for real. just in the West. In the West, it might be somewhere in that 20 to 25 range, if I'm just being honest. So it's going to be an interesting year. They're obviously rebuilding. They have some young pieces there, and we'll see what they do. There's not a lot to say about Memphis. It's rebuild time.
Hey, a team that I like a lot, the Pelicans. I like the new look Lakers.
The Pelicans.
The new look Lakers. You're adding Zion. Bring back Zion. Welcome us back to Zion. He putting around a good team. Added JJ Redick. They added some other pieces. They added Derek Favors as well. So, they're doing the right type of moves. They just need more shooting. Like adding JJ Redick is going to be huge. I'm not sure who's going to be starting a shooting guard for them. Are they going to start JJ? Are they going to start Lonzo? That's kind of up in the air. Do you go with the offense or do you go with the defense? So that's the only part that I'm, a little stuck on because Drew Holiday is not a true point guard. So maybe you start Lonzo with him. But other than that, everything is everything with them. And hopefully Zion, it turns out to be the truth.
Yeah, I think if you're the Pelicans, I'm going the Lonzo Drew Holiday route just for defensive purposes. Drew Holiday likes playing off the ball, so I think he could do that well. Lonzo Ball's shot is improving, and I think you want Lonzo on the court with Zion. I think that's the tandem you want on the court a lot, especially if you're starting Brandon Ingram. There's just familiarity there, and then with Lonzo, he makes anybody better. I'm still mad the Lakers had to give him up, but hey, it is what it is. He's a great defender. He can create. I think you want him on the court with Zion, with all these young guys getting out on the break. The Pelicans are an interesting team to think about. They could make a run at the bottom of the West because it's health is going to be a big thing for me with them. Health, because you do have Lonzo Ball, who's two seasons in a row he's gone down with some type of injuries, made him miss a lot of games. Brandon Ingram, you have the blood clot issues there. So those are two pretty key pieces in that trade for Anthony Davis that you brought over. So I'm eager to see it. A lot's going to be also what are we going to get from Zion Williamson? What can we realistically expect from him? I just don't know right now. I know the athleticism is there. I know he's strong. We haven't seen a guy like this before, but on the NBA, it's just a different level, man. It's just a different level. You're dealing with grown-ass men, like 6'11".
Not playing with them.
You're not playing little boys, man. This is grown-ass men. So I think he's going to be a highlight reel waiting to happen. But how many wins is he actually going to equate to? I got to see it. I got to see it to believe it. But I think they're going to be a good team if healthy.
For sure, yeah. I think they'll be competitive, but just slightly outside of the playoffs. Unless Lonzo takes another step and Brandon Ingram, he could continue to play the way he did after all the trade rumors, then they working with some fire over there. They could push for that playoff spot because they're going to be a pretty good defensive team, I think. So let's go ahead and talk about the Spurs. They added DeMar Carroll, brought back Rudy Gay. The Spurs are the Spurs, man. They add some shooting. DeJounte Murray comes back. I like the moves that they're making, and Popovich, coach them up. Coach them up, make them, 50-win team. You don't miss the playoffs. Popovich don't miss the playoffs, so it's hard to bet against them. I don't really like the stars on their team being Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan, but they'll be good in the regular season for sure.
Yeah, Spurs, slow and steady, wins the race. DeMar Carroll just fits there like a veteran, right. Knock down 3-point shots, get into Pop system, probably play a little bit above what he actually is. You bring in DeJounte Murray back. He made all defensive team his rookie year, so you bring a guy right there who could spearhead your defense. LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan, you know what you're going to get from these guys. It's going to be a solid contribution. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to give a young team a scare. So you got to watch out. You got to watch out for the Spurs. They can catch you in any round. Next thing you know, you're down 2-1. But honestly, if you had to ask me, if DeMar DeRozan's your best player, there's a ceiling of how good you can be when your best player can't really stretch the floor. You know what I mean? So they're going to be good. They're going to win their close to 50 games, that 47 to 50 range. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Let's see what else they do.
So Denver Nuggets team you was just disrespecting, like Paul Millsap. He opts in, gets his $30 million. Gonna be the Anthony Davis stopper. Gonna be the Anthony Davis stopper in the West.
All right.
Michael Porter Jr. comes back. They pick up Bobo, so they're gonna have two rookies that are definitely spotlight's gonna be on them. Even though you're in Denver, the spotlight gonna be on both of those type of players. So I think low risk, high reward for both of them. They kind of did the same thing with Jokic. He was a late second round pick, so hopefully those pan out for them. And Jamal Murray went and got that bag. They extended him. He got like 170 for the next 5. So
they're confident in him. Yeah, shoot.
All team think I'm Kobe, so I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, the Nuggets are definitely interesting. They kind of They didn't sneak up on some people. They snuck up on a lot of people last year. They were the number 1 seed throughout the playoffs. Throughout the regular season for a lot. Eventually fell down to the number 2, and they lost. They lose to the Blazers.
Yeah.
Lost to the Blazers, which I don't understand that. But hey, it is what it is. Bol Bol's a project, but hey, if he pans out, that's the ultimate steal of the draft right there. I did not expect him to drop like he did. But hey, fell down to the Nuggets. You get Michael Porter Jr. back, who they were comparing to Kevin Durant at one point. So if he can get back to that level, then you got a problem going forward. You already got Jokic, you got your point guard. They got a nice little squad, but I mean, Paul Millsap compared to LeBron James and Kawhi, it's comical. It's just comical. I'm sorry.
Jokic would take Anthony Davis to school. Just like you know. Don't be surprised when you up Friday night ESPN primetime and Jokic is working your Lakers. Don't be surprised.
So let's just, if they're giving you one person, you taking Anthony Davis, you taking Jokic. Are we talking about this, or are we talking about
as a player? Hey, this is a real question. That is actually a real question.
Who are you taking, David?
Jokic can run a team.
I know he can do, but who are you taking?
He just led them to the second. Give me Jokic. Give me Jokic over Anthony Davis. Yes. Anthony Davis is not a winner.
Jokic is a winner now?
Yes, Jokic is a winner. Second seed in the West. Give me that.
No, your regular season don't make you a winner. Your playoffs make you a winner.
He's able to get them past who they playing? The Spurs.
They got to the second round. The
Spurs, and they barely lost to the Portland Trailblazers.
First off, you lost to Portland.
What's wrong with losing to Portland?
Shouldn't have lost to Portland. Secondly, you made it to the second round. I talk about Anthony Davis all the time, but he's made it to the second round too. What? So it's not really saying much right now.
And he's never been a top 6 seed in the West. Like, no, Anthony Davis is not it.
Has Anthony Davis ever had a team as good as the Nuggets last year?
Okay, yeah, he had a better team. I'll give you that. But the Pelicans are not as bad as their record was not as bad as those Pelican teams actually were.
I agree. They had a lot of injuries though. So I mean, that's what Eric Gordon stayed hurt when he was there. Who else did they have?
Even in recent years, he's the one that be hurt. Yeah, you in New Orleans. I guess you exaggerating every injury, but a lot of those teams that weren't making the playoffs should have been in the playoffs. And Jokic would have took those teams to the playoffs.
You call Jokic a winner, and he hasn't won anything yet. Let's pump the brakes.
Just because you don't win a ring don't make you not a winner. That's why y'all get it mixed up.
Just because you win some games in the regular season don't make you a winner either. What?
I guess we're gonna agree to disagree. We're gonna revisit this during the season, man. Anthony Davis is flopping on your Lakers, right?
No, what we're gonna see is who has the better season, Anthony Davis or Jokic. We're just gonna see.
All right. There's gonna be LeBron and Kawhi. But the Timberwolves, man. The Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns. Who they add? Who they end up adding? The Timberwolves. They added.
Well, they missed on D'Lo. I know they were trying to make that happen.
Yeah, they added Covert in the draft. I think that's somewhat of a solid pickup. I think they're trying to pair him to get rid of that Wiggins contract, but now you might as well just go ahead and keep Wiggins and just hope one day something clicks and he just becomes that player that we all thought he could be. At least something a little bit closer to it. Because the way he's playing now, I don't see the Timberwolves being much of a threat. I don't really have much to say about the Timberwolves. I hope Cat continues to play great, continue to have a great year, but I'm ready to move on to the next team.
Yeah, the Timberwolves signed Jordan Bell. That's about.
Yeah, I mean he can be good next to Karl Anthony Towns, but nothing.
And they also got the Warriors already traded Shabazz Napier and Trevon Graham to the Timberwolves as well. So
okay, so Shabazz goes to the Timberwolves, not the Warriors.
Yeah, he went to the Timberwolves. It just happened 6 hours ago.
Okay, maybe help him replace Derrick Rose. So we got some point guards out there now. So all right,
they won't make the playoffs, guys. Don't worry, we can move on.
Just look for Karl Anthony Towns. They put up those Anthony Davis numbers, but not win.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oklahoma City Thunder. What they do? They end up bringing back Nerlens Noel. They're kind of running it back as well. Hopefully, looking forward to Russell Westbrook and Paul George being healthy for once in the playoffs. So I guess that's kind of where they're at. Hopefully, Paul George is back into MVP form.
Yeah, they're cap strapped, so it's really not a lot of moves for them to make. They've got Paul George maxed out, Russell Westbrook maxed out. I think they get Roberson back again.
I mean that'll help them defensively.
It'll help them defensively, but yeah, like I said, there's levels to this, and there's a ceiling with Russell Westbrook. There's a ceiling. I'm sorry.
Wow.
You don't think there's a ceiling with Russell Westbrook?
Oh, I agree, but I agree. But I'm gonna let them be healthy this year. I've heard 2 straight years we weren't healthy. Melo was on the team, so I just want to know what the excuse is gonna be this year. I love arguing with OKC fans on Twitter, so they swear out Russell Westbrook is not the issue, but they'll see this year. I agree.
We'll see what happens.
Portland Trailblazers, they ended up getting Hassan Whiteside. They ship Evan Turnoff, get Kent Bazemore. They bring back Rodney Hood. So this team, it's looking good. It looks like they can compete in the West. I think adding Hassan Whiteside is a great move while you're waiting for Nurkic to come back. And Nurkic should actually be back before the regular season even starts. So maybe having Whiteside off the bench in a contract year, that's the key. The contract year is what keeps Whiteside motivated. And, I mean, he seemed to be happy to go to Portland, being that they got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum.
Yeah, I mean, look, you get traded to Portland, you ain't got no choice but to hoop. So hopefully we see something, we see more from Hassan Whiteside. Hassan Whiteside need to live up to his character on 2K. Because 2K, he be wilding. In real life, I don't know what be going on. There was times like the Heat didn't even put him in the game during the playoffs last year. So it's like, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
On 2K, Hassan Whiteside is Miami Heat Shaq.
Like
slightly dominant, and you just can't stop him off the boards and stuff like that.
Yeah, dominant. But Portland's just retooling. They made the Western Conference Finals last year. They're retooling. They're adding some depth there. They bring in Whiteside while Nurkic's coming back from injury. So now they got 2 very good rim protectors. Damian Lillard just signed his Supermax. Dame Dollar. Yeah. He ain't gonna never use $1 again. Got as much as he getting paid. So yeah, man, this team is just getting ready to run it back.
Yeah. But let's head to the last team on our list, the Utah Jazz, who made a lot of great moves. This team, don't sleep on them during the playoffs. They made a lot of great moves. So they're gonna be running out there, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell at the 2, Joe Ingles at the 3. I assume Bogdanović will play the 4. And then at the 5 spot, you got Rudy Gobert. That's one of the best starting lineups in the league, if you ask me.
Yeah, and everybody's there's no confusion there. Everybody's true to their position. Michael Conley, pure point. Donovan Mitchell goes back into the role of shooting guard. Small forward, Joe Ingles. You know what I'm saying? Bogdanović can stretch the floor. He was a very good 3-point shooter. Now you have a true center with Gobert. They're going to be a tough team. They're going to be a great defensive team.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna be real. Now this is a Jazz team that I'm like, my boy Marlon, Marlon, he told me last year the Jazz would have been watched out for, but I just didn't believe it. I was like, they don't have enough scoring. But now you add Conley and Bogdanović to that combo with Donovan Mitchell. That is a dark horse finals team. I'll call it right now, dark horse.
Yeah, because they can definitely beat the Lakers. But
watch out.
I like to see Conley play meaningful basketball. I haven't seen that in a few years. We saw with Gasol, just that rejuvenation, finally actually playing for something of importance when it comes to these accolades and things like that. So Conley being there, he's an underrated point guard. That's gonna be a great situation. It's gonna help Donovan Mitchell so much playing with him. Finally gets to play out the ball. He doesn't have to take 25 shots to get 25 points anymore. He can get set up a little bit more, get some easier looks. There's not as much pressure on him. Joe Ingles, I thought they had got rid of him with all these moves they made, but he's still on the team, which, hey, shout out to him. I used to always get him in 2K because he was cash as fuck on 2K. So,
For some reason, he just be getting in Paul George head when they play the Thunder, yo. He be
they play the Thunder, it's a wrap.
Go ahead, you good.
Hey, adding Bogdanović, I think that's a great move too. I think he's one of the underrated players in this free agency class. He's going to be a great addition to the Utah Jazz. He'll fit in right in there. Playing the stretch four, kind of somewhat undersized, but nowadays he'll make out. I think he'll be good at the 4. Having Rudy Gobert behind you helps a lot too. So they're going to be a very good team. And they're coached by Quinn Snyder. So just fill out that bench and you're good to go. You don't even need to really look for a lot of shooting. Just find players that you think can play good off of Donovan Mitchell and maybe another stretch center or somebody to fill in that Rudy Gobert role, because at times you do have to take him off the court.
Yeah, definitely that. Yeah, a stretch center will probably work best with them, but I don't know. I think they're going to have enough shooting with Bogdanovich, with Michael Conley. Those two shoot high.
Yeah, I'm saying shooting is not the issue. It's just having that fifth guy out there when Rudy Gobert is getting torched by James Harden on the perimeter. You're going to have to take him out. So finding somebody that can either play a small ball 4 type of small ball 5 type of thing, or a true 5 that can go out there and move their feet.
They also signed Ed Davis, low key. So there's another big body to throw out there.
There you go.
Rudy Gobert's name.
Hey, whoever GM in Utah, he's doing a good job. Trying to keep Donovan there.
Definitely that. But that's all we got today for you guys for the free agency. We went through every team with every move they did so far. Obviously, free agency isn't over yet. So next week we'll have another episode, and by that time, I'm sure the Lakers will have some good news. Some good news for you guys.
Kobe's coming out of retirement.
Kobe might come out of retirement for what's about to happen. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Here's the Deal. I want to thank all the listeners, no matter what platform you may be listening to. Remember, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean. We're on everything, man. And I also wanted to shout out our Instagram and our Twitter. You can find us on Twitter at HereIs_the_deal. Again, that's HereIs_the_deal. And on Instagram at Here's the Deal 23_. Again, on Instagram, Here's the Deal 23_. David, talk to people. Anything to say?
Hey, we out on that. Hey, give us a follow.
Yeah, make sure you shout us out. Give us a follow. Leave us a review on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review with a question. Heck, we might do a whole mailbag episode. We might just do all questions. So leave us a question in the form of a 5-star review on iTunes, and we'll answer your question live on our next episode.
One more thing. So, hey, football on the way. I know all my football fans are like, hey, they've been talking about nothing but the NBA. Football on the way. We're going to get this fantasy team popping. So, we're going to be looking to invite y'all to a couple fantasy leagues. So, definitely reach out if you're interested in that, and we'll set something up.
Yes, football is coming. I'm mad. I was in the league with you last year, and I was dominating the regular season.
You know I had to come
and lost in the playoffs. I was so mad, man.
You know your boy was going to win it.
Look, man, my Packers gonna be ready, so I can't wait to talk NFL, man. That's gonna be hype. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, everybody, we out, man. See y'all next week.
Thank you for listening to Here's the Deal podcast. Tune in for next week's episode. And don't forget to add the Here's the Deal podcast Facebook and Twitter pages.